Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace. I thought that I would come on for a minute and share because it's been a little while. Also have my eyes downward on this baby monitor because, honey, the move is real. So I'll just give it a moment for people to chime in. So if you're catching this live or as a replay, I figured don't wait, don't try to do your hair and all the things. Just come on and come on off. So I'm definitely not going to be on long. It is a little warmer than I thought it was going to be. It's humid, y'all. Shout out to those who are outside doing their works. Those who are just outside to ground and get some vitamin D. So, yeah. So it's been a little while since I went live on a personal tip, and so much has happened in life over these last months. Of course, I know that many of you know that I've had a baby and things have changed drastically for me. And, I'm being called to be more vulnerable in sharing. It's always, well, what do I share? And who should I be vulnerable with? It is what it is. So, anywho, I, shout out to my sister friends who really check in on me and check for me. It is greatly appreciated. I am learning more and more how important having your community surround you, the right community, is super duper important. So much is happening, in the world, and as they say, the light is winning. So I'm very happy to, be alive in this time. But the general crux of this live is just these myriad of changes that I have gone through, as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and it's been something, y'all. It has truly been something. But I'm learning to go with the flow and just accept things as they are. So I was going to say earlier, shout out to my sister friend, Kateria Knows. I had a reading done a few days back. And one of the things that came up for me was, trust, and developing a trusting relationship with myself, to go out into the world to do all of the things. And what I realized, the trust, to have the self-esteem to do all the things. I have the esteem, and I even have the trust. I think part of my shortcoming, if you will, is the commitment. I thought she was going to say, like, you're a new mom now, and it's time just to focus on being a mom, which is definitely, the case, but focusing on my works and my spiritual works and how I will align those and bring them into fruition. So in that, I have been thinking a lot about really community and what that actually looks like, sisterhood, brotherhood. I have no notes, y'all, so I'm just talking. But I have been reading this book here, and it has really, really, really given me so much insight and forethought, just as it relates to women and the return of the matriarch on this plane, and not to be any type of competition with the men, because it's not. It's just us reclaiming our time, reclaiming our sovereignty, reclaiming our our authenticity. And yeah, I'm just really in the middle, right in the middle of that. So I know that as I grow and the things that I don't know now, I'm willing to accept and not define. So yeah, I think that I don't even know if I want to read from the book, y'all, but it's and a brother actually recommended this book. It's important for the matriarch, for the divine feminine to return, and the divine feminine not necessarily meaning the female body archetype, right? But just this idea that we have really for millennia been living in this patriarchal system that is, full of war and degradation and all the things that life is not meant to be. So coming, I would say full circle as a first-time mom, in my 40s, really has opened my eyes to just a whole bunch. And I've mentioned before that, when I planted our placenta into the earth, it was like just like a vortex opened and so much really pouring out of me. So I'm saying all of this to say that a new project is in the works, right? I get so many questions about this and about that and how to do this or how to do that or how I did a particular thing. And, sharing it really is caring. But it's time for the women really to, really do their healing work if they haven't already been doing it, however that may look for them, right? When you're misunderstood, people don't really know where you're coming from, so it's just kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that, or if I don't know if I want to get involved with that person. But I just keep hearing my spirit team saying keep going, because so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip to a page and see what, and I've only read like maybe the first 120 pages, but already, y'all, it's just a great book. Let me see what comes up. Oh, a lot, actually. Another thing that I learned in this book is we focus so much on, like, the current, our lifetimes, but learning about like Neolithic times and Paleolithic times and megalithic times. It's like women are like greatness, y'all. And I think through dogmatic laws, we have just been trained to, in many cases, be subservient. And that's just not the way. So, I'll read this little part. It says, over these thousands of years of food gathering, women's keen knowledge of herbs and plant properties was developed through trial and error, testing, and practical experience into the art of the medicinal healing. Ultimately, women's food collecting developed into agriculture as women observed the relationship between scattered seeds and plants and plant growth. So, and this actually talks about the Neolithic revolution that took place 10,000 BC. But just basically that, like, a lot of the things, industry that we have today really was founded by women because we were the life bearers. We were the trustees of the land. So it was up to us to make sure that, things were getting done. So, reacclimating to our authentic self, reacclimating to who we are, reacclimating to the land, wherever you may live, is important now. Like, now is the time, right? Because I feel that in some cases, like, women are being pushed out. We're being replaced by other beings who really desire to be women. And I know that that's maybe a controversial statement, but it's like, nah, we can't allow that to happen. And others may say, well, we're not trying to be, women, but it's just like, So we just desire just space for us just to be natural women and not feel like we have to be something that we're not to be. Because I was that person. Like, I was a person who wanted to be so inclusive, and I realized that all spaces are not for everyone, and that's okay, Shay. That's okay. I give thanks and praises to the ancestors who nudge the same sentiment. Yeah. So yeah, it's time for us to take our seats. It's time for us to, clean out our bodies, clean out our minds, clean out our spirits, and really just, come together and really do the work that we were called to do. Now, from what I understand about life is, before we incarnate in the body that we need to be able to do whatever the work is that we were called to do. So, I am in the agreement that I chose to come in a female avatar to help do the work that needs to be done. Let's see. Hey, Mama Lydia. Sometimes you need to be the air around you. Let's see. Sometimes you need the air around you in a vacant space to breathe, feel, and renew. All spaces are not meant to be totally filled. Ooh, I love that. And that's just so much the truth. And that's a lesson for me, because again, I wanted everyone to feel included, so much so that in an experience, I missed the step on vetting people, because it's just like, just come in, fill up the space, and that totally backfired. So I will never skip steps again, and vetting is definitely the name of the game. So I look forward to all that is unfolding. Everything is so new and raw. It's like a blank canvas, and being able to just paint the picture that you desire to see. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. So really, this message is, me saying to the women, to the natural born women, that, now is our time for deep reflection. If you haven't already been doing it, it's time to really get into your work. And your job and your work may be two different things. It'd be great if they did line up, but even if they didn't, just really making sure that, you're staying true to your work, and being surrounded by people who are authentic and honest with themselves in doing the same thing. And there's more to come. There's one more thing that I do want to read out of this book. I ain't gonna front y'all. It is a little over, just under 500 pages, right? And there is a chapter in the book that I skipped ahead to because the title really caught my attention. And it caught my attention because of the space and time that we're in. But it's called The Divine Homosexual Family. And I'm like, what is that about? What is she talking about? What they talking about? I'm not going to go through the entire chapter, obviously. But what I love in it, and I know that there are more women that are coming into and have been in ministry, right? But this actually is talking about the patriarchal side of things, and that, again, for millennia, we have been under a patriarchal system. And this part of this chapter talks about, I'm just going to read it. It says, for most of the millennia of Christian and Jewish history, the biblical God Yahweh and his immaculately begotten Son Christ have always and only been represented by the altar of a male. Quite often these males have worn skirts, and always, in all times, they have been givers and upholders of dogmatic laws regarding women. Laws they indicate, y'all, telling women how to dress, how to move, how to behave, how to relate to our bodies, how to reproduce, when to reproduce, how to have sexual activity, when to have sexual activities, how to relate to our menstrual cycles and our childbirths and our afterbirths, how to put bows in our hairs, how to cover up our hair, how to keep our eyes modestly averted, in general, how to be palient and submissive and unquestioning handmaidens in the holy backwall kitchens and bathrooms of the Lord. Indeed, this strange urge of holy men of all patriarchal denominations to stand there, wearing skirts, giving sermons to the world's genuine female on what it really means to be a woman, is a propensity that needs deep pondering. Nonetheless, it has been the history of the male God religion. What needs further pondering by all of us is why women continue to plead for respect in actionary churches that clearly now and historically have no interest in women as anything but followers and servants. Now, this book was written in the 80s, I believe. Yep, 87. I know a lot has changed since this book has come out, but monitor watching, it just really I'll go back to something that I heard. What we deem as human nature, is it indeed human nature, or is it learned behaviors that have been warped into human nature over time? And is there a space where women are sharing with women how to be women and not dogmatic laws created by men telling women how to be women? So, anyway, stay tuned. That's my time because the sweat is real. It is so humid out here, but I am grateful for it. So, I hope that made sense. Again, I didn't have any notes, just kind of going off the dome. As it relates to just the time that we're in, and for the natural woman to be okay with being a natural woman. It's okay for us to be as natural and as authentic as we desire to be. And I will work on being more consistent with being out. Because it's real cool for me to go in my cocoon and stay there. But I know that that's not what I signed up for. So, a great read. And again, this was referred by a brother. So if he read this first, or his lady friend or whoever read it with him, great suggestion. So all of you matriarchs out there, yeah. So until next time, y'all, peace, love, and wholeness.